We're on? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. We have a city council meeting today, Monday, March 2nd, 2020. I'd like to start with a roll call and determination of quorum, please.
Nordstrom. Here. Modrick. Roberts.
Here.
Stroman.
Here.
Armstrong.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Drury. Here. Evans.
Here.
Drew. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, we will have an invocation by Marta Rangich. She's with the Christian Science Church.
Good evening. I would ask that you join me, ladies and gentlemen of the council and members of the public. As I began thinking about the meeting this evening, I was reminded of the wisdom of Abraham Lincoln. In his Gettysburg Address, one of the things that he says is that our words will soon be forgotten. But he also says that we have a responsibility to remember that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. I also thought about wisdom a friend of mine has shared with me that comes from the Lakota tradition. Mitake yeu yasin. We are all relatives. We bring to our democracy our fire, our commitment, but also our brotherhood. We join out of a sense of responsibility, out of a sense of the greater good, and out of the sense of commitment to one another. With that in mind, I think of these words from the book of Ephesians in the Bible. Let not any hateful words come out of your mouth, but whatever is good and useful for improvement, that you may give grace to those who hear. We can treat each other with grace, with kindness, and work to serve the greater good of our community, which we all care deeply about. And with that, I would close from the wisdom of the psalmist David, who says, I will now say, peace be with thee. Amen.
And now we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now we'll move to the adoption of the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion to adopt the agenda by Mrs. Drury and a second by Mr. Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Now we'll move to awards and recognitions. We have one award this evening for Jeannie Nicholson. Mr. Young will be leading that off. Thank you.
Okay, I'm happy to take a moment here to make a presentation to Jeannie Nicholson, who has been working in our department in community development, and she's retiring. I've got a few words here I'd like to read, and then we have a certificate and also a letter from the mayor that will be presented to her. This is a tribute to Jeannie Nicholson. Jeannie Nicholson has served the city of Rapid City for nearly 28 years. She began her employment with the city in 1992, serving her first year as a clerk with the police department. She has served in various positions as an administrative assistant for the Civic Center, Planning, and Community Development. Her co-workers have offered the following words as a tribute to Jeannie. Jeannie has been a great mentor. She is always willing to help, and she knows so much about everything. She's like a mother hen to the group of girls at the front counter. She is a reliable, hardworking employee and a trusted friend. Jeannie is a great leader in the office and has always been willing to guide, direct, and help with any tasks or questions. She has gone above and beyond in creating both professional and personal relationships with her coworkers. Jeannie is a confidant, always watching out and for her co-employees, making sure things are good and moving smoothly. With her years of experience and knowledge, you can go to Jeannie with any question and she will always have the right answer for you. As her supervisor for the last 2.5 years, I have appreciated Jeannie's thoroughness and professionalism and willingness to help. Jeannie will be missed, and we want to wish her many happy times and good luck into the future.
And I have a letter from the mayor. He's out of the country, but he wanted to make sure that you were appropriately recognized. Okay, dear Jeannie, I would like to congratulate you on the occasion of your retirement. Your service to our city and the Community Planning Department for the past 27 plus years is commendable. Thank you for your time, dedication, and service to our community. It is my hope that you have a peaceful transition into retirement, knowing that your contributions have been appreciated and that you have touched the lives of many Rapid City citizens. Okay, best regards, Mayor Allender. That's for you. Congratulations. All right, now is the time for general public comment, a time for the members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda, except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. Do we have any public speakers? Okay, then we will move on. All right. Closing public comment. Non-public hearing items 2 through 31. We're going to open public comment 2 through 29. Still none. Closing public comment. Now we'll move to consent items 2 through 29. Does anybody need to remove? Great. Okay, we're pulling item 12. Any other items? Okay, I'd welcome a motion. Okay, a motion to approve 2 through 29 with the exception of number 12. We have a motion by Mrs. Drury and a second, I believe, by Mr. Roberts again. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's move to item number 12. Authorize staff to advertise bids for Woodlawn Drive and Downing Street Sanitary Sewer Replacement Project number 15-2285, CIP number 50623, estimated cost, I think I may, 1.55000. All right, moving to Mrs. Drew.
Thank you so much. Could I direct a few questions to Dale Tech, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So Dale, whenever I see a number like this, over $1 million, $1.5 million, I always like to know a little bit more about it. And I did look at the, the map that you guys provided. So when we're looking at this project, is this going to be something that will help with the backups, the drainage, the things in that area? Will that take care of any of those problems, or what are we trying to fix here?
Yeah, indeed. The sanitary sewer in this neighborhood is clay tile. Clay tile over time tends to crack, break, which causes infiltration of groundwater typically to get into the sewer mains. So yes, this project will eliminate that. In addition, we're also including some storm sewer. So we're extending storm sewer a little over 1.5 blocks to pick up some of that surface water to get it underground and tie into the storm sewer system that was installed when Anamosa Street was reconstructed about a dozen years ago. So yes, this should certainly help with both surface water and sanitary sewer flows in the neighborhood. It's been on the books for 7 or 8 years, so it's good to finally see it come to fruition.
Yes, and when you talk about Anamosa Street, will that be impacted at all with the traffic flow this summer at all with this project?
No, where we tie in at Anamosa Street, I believe there were stub outs made during the reconstruction of Anamosa, so I don't believe that there will be any significant impacts to Anamosa Street. There may be some temporary lane closures right at the intersection of Woodlawn and perhaps Downing, but nothing major.
Okay, and this is not to do with this item, but just thinking about the spring coming up with these kinds of problems we had last year with the backups. So this won't be done by this spring, so people will just have to deal with things that are going on until this summer, correct?
Last year was an anomaly. It was the wettest year on record in Rapid City. I don't know what this year's going to bring. So any improvements that we can make will certainly be a benefit.
Okay, all right, thank you, that's it. I yield.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Nordstrom and a second by Mr. Lehman. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're at the end of our consent items. Moving to non-consent items. Once again, we're opening public comment. And now we will close public comment. Okay, moving along. Under community development items, we have number 30, a request by Kakert Construction for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lots 5A and 5B of Block 1 of Gemstone Subdivision, generally described as being located at 318 and 320 Topaz Lane. Have a motion to approve by Mrs. Modrick to approve with stipulations. A second by Mrs. Drury. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving to number 31, a request by Davis Engineering for Pink Cabin LLC for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lots 32 through 48 of Block 11, lots 2 through 11 of Block 13, lots 1 through 5 of Block 14, and detention cell lot in Murphy Ranch Estates subdivision, generally described as being located at the southern terminus of Knuckle Duster Road and Black Powder Road.
Move to approve the stipulations.
I have a motion to approve with stipulations by Mr. Lewis, a second by Mr. Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving along. Public hearing items. What? Right, 32 through 35. Open public hearing, no requests, moving along. Consent public hearing items 30. Oh, I'm opening the public hearing. Comment section. And there's none, so I'm going to close it. Now I'll move to consent public hearing items 32 through 34. Okay, under community, oh no. Number 32, alcohol light. Okay.
There's a consent. We can.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I'd welcome a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve by Mr. Lehman, second by Mr. Stroman to approve 32 through 34. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 35. Under non-consent public hearing items, approve Resolution 2020-003, a request by Fisk Land Surveying and Consulting Engineers, Inc. for Keys Larson for a vacation of a section line highway right-of-way for property generally described as being located at the intersection of Heidiway Court and Heidiway Lane.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Lewis, a second by Mr. Stroman. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. For the bills list, we'll go to Pauline Sumption, our finance officer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are no additions to the bill list, so the total is that which is attached at $5,653,910.53.
Mrs. Modrick has a question?
Thank you. This item, I wasn't sure what it was, so I do have to ask, and it states that it's a citizen observer. Over $4,000, $4,200. What does a citizen's observer cost?
Where do you see that? I'm sorry.
It was on your bill list. It showed citizen's observer, maybe. It might have been in detail, but I saw this $4,200, and I wasn't sure what that was. Let me see if I can find it for you, too. Okay, thank you. Thank you. When I look at the definition of citizen's observer,
It's a business.
thank you. And maybe there's somebody else I'll need to ask, but when I looked up what a citizen observer is, it says a citizen observer is a resident appointed by the chief of police or by a deputy sheriff who's met the specific application, background, and training requirements for patrolling his neighborhood or city subdivision for suspicious persons. So maybe this could go to our assistant chief of police so he could describe it, or?
Yeah.
Thank you, just to be clear. It's an interesting word.
Yeah, so it's a business actually, and what it is it's our anonymous tip line. So we more commonly refer to it as tip 411, and so that's why when you said citizens observer, it kind of threw me off for a second, but that's what we pay to have the ability to have anonymous tips come in that we can follow up on.
Can I follow up with a question?
Absolutely.
So is the 4,200 an annual portion in the budget?
I believe so, but I'd have to double check, to be honest. I don't have that off the top of my head,
Okay,
unless Pauline can answer.
thank you. Thank you.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Lewis, a second by Mrs. Drury. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Move to adjourn. Second.
I have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Lewis, a second by Mr. Stroman. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely evening.